I love reading crime fiction, and with the book I finished this week, it really does not get any better than this. What's up guys, welcome back to Unlimited Reads. My name is Chris and today I'll be talking about what I got up to this week. So let's start with what I've been reading. Now the first book I'd like to talk to you about is Genesis by Chris Hunter. This is the 12th book in the LA Detective Robert Hunter series. Now if you're not aware of the series, I'll just give a bit of a brief background. So Robert Hunter from a very young age was a child prodigy and genius, and he graduated college early and could have gone on to do any number of professions. He could have been a nuclear physicist, he could have been a psychologist, which certainly comes in handy in his current line of work. Now both he and his partner Garcia head up a special division within the LAPD called the Ultra-Violent Crimes Unit. So it's up to them when violent crimes happen in the city. They're called in to investigate. Now in this book, there is a violent crime committed. A serial killer has struck LA and begins murdering victims in the most heinous ways possible. Now, from the outset, what makes things bizarre is that at each scene there are cryptic clues left in the form of written verse on pieces of paper left with the victims. Now, at first, Hunter and Garcia can't draw any conclusions or figure out what these written verses mean. And as the case goes on, what makes things especially strange is normally serial killers use the same MO, but as the murders progress in the book, the MO happens to change, which really makes things a lot more complicated. Up until now, my favourite book of the whole series was An Evil Mind. When I read that last year, it resonated with me for months afterward, but I can honestly say after closing the last page of Genesis, we have a new winner. Genesis is now my favourite book of the entire series. It was just brilliantly done. If the heinous acts committed in the first half of the book weren't enough, there are so many twists and turns throughout the whole book it makes your head spin, but that is a good thing. The whole thing reads like a Chinese puzzle box. There are so many layers to this that get peeled back like an onion, and there are plenty of revelations given as well, with perfect timing throughout the book. There really are some WTF moments, and I especially liked how you find out 2/3 into the book how the book was named. When you look at the book and it is just called Genesis, it could mean any number of things. Is it a biblical reference? Does it mean something entirely different? But when you find out why the book was named the way it was, it makes perfect sense and it is very satisfying. As the book progresses, you think you may have worked things out, but then Hunter and Garcia run into dead ends and make the wrong assumptions and go down the wrong path. And it isn't until much later that Robert Hunter, with his superior intellect, draws all the conclusions, brings all the threads together, and it's ingenious how he solves the crime ultimately. In a nutshell, this book was brilliantly executed. I couldn't fault it, and if you decide to read this one before reading the entire backlist, you're not at a disadvantage. I mean, there's very, very vague references to previous cases in the book, and I guarantee by the time you finish this book, you'll want to devour the whole backlist. It was just awesome. Definitely a 5-star read for me, and I hope you enjoy it. And if you've read it already, let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'm always up for a chin wag and comparing notes about that, so please do that. Now the second book I read this week, or am still reading, is Book 3, the Farseer Trilogy, Assassin's Quest. Now I mentioned in previous videos that I did take a break from it in order to get through some books I've been putting off and just wanting to read them. So this week I got back into it, and I'm almost at the halfway mark now, and whilst the book is good and the writing is good, I'm not overly enjoying it. It seems to be at a bit of a standstill. Not much is happening at the moment. Fitz is travelling, he's going from place to place, meeting a few people here and there in his quest to get to Prince Verity beyond the Mountain Kingdom. And he's at a place called Blue Lake at the moment where he's negotiating with smugglers to get across the lake and ultimately into the Mountain Kingdom to meet up with Prince Verity, because Prince Verity is on his own quest to find the legend of the Elderlings, who the legend says that they will help the people of the Six Duchies to fight against the Red Ship raiders that are raiding the coast of the duchies at the moment. But yeah, I'm struggling a little bit. I mean, I've read quite a few chapters, and I'm thinking I'll either push through this coming week, or I might take another break and read a couple of books in between and get back to it. But I I am going to finish it come hell or high water. I am committed to the series, but I'm just finding not much is happening at the moment, and I'm hoping by the time I get to the second half of the book that things will move along, and hopefully we'll see some advancement in the plot. But you know, time will tell. So for the moment, at the time of recording this, I plan on reading more of it. Whether I stick to it and finish the whole thing next week, or if I take a break, we'll see what happens, because there are other books that I've got here or are due out for release that I want to read as well. So I'll keep you posted on that. Now, what have I been watching this week? Not a great deal, actually. Haven't really watched anything, but with things that are coming up on Netflix at the moment, there are two shows that I'm excited about. The first one is, of course, Cobra Kai Season 5, and me, along with every other fan, is chopping at the bit. September 9, I think it's on a Friday that it starts, and I think we're in for a treat, and really looking forward to that. And the other show I'm looking forward to is based on a book. It's called The Devil in Ohio, which Daria Pilatin wrote the book a couple of years ago, and I think it won an award. And the show stars Emily Deschanel from Bones, and it's about an orphan girl who gets taken in by a family, only things aren't quite as they seem, and this girl is strange, and not much else is known, but I think it's just a limited series that I'll probably binge watch. It just looks really, really interesting, but yeah, can't wait for that. So that was my week, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Offer any feedback in the comments below. I'm always up for a chat about anything I've discussed today, and until next time, see you later.